Hello and welcome. Normally, I do not really comment on what is going on in America, and probably, even if I did, probably my comments, nobody's going to take them seriously. But at this time, I have come to a point of saying something about America. First of all, I would say I don't like America. I don't like America, and probably I might end up saying I don't like the people, American people, especially those who are shooting people on the street and pretending to be law enforcers. So, to me, this is how it looks like. America has been touting itself to be a country of law and order. But it turns out that America really, it is far from law and order. How can a person or a policeman who is supposed to protect the public go and kill the very people that they are supposed to protect? And yet, they get away with it. So, to date, we are talking about Derick Floyd. I don't want to rebroadcast the videos because they have been there circulating already. You know what I'm talking about. If you have seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. Derick Floyd, like many other people who have been killed by American police, he was not resisting an arrest. He was actually saying, "I cannot breathe," because the guy was kneeling on his neck. But, okay, we will come back to the killing later on. Let me just say what I think about America, and probably this opinion is not going to bother anyone, especially Americans. But now they've started to wake up. You have to remember, from Derick, if we go back to 1991, the riots that you're seeing similar to this were triggered by the acquittal of policemen or murderers who beat up Rodney King. And since then, many people have been dying, whether be children, young men, women, all actually just murdered by the police. And then really, you want to tell me that America is a nation of law and order? Well, I don't think so. They might say that they have got the best education in the world, they have got Harvard University, they have got all these inventions and stuff. But let me tell you one thing. The people who are inventing stuff in America, they are not actually originated in America. Say, for example, Apple. The owner of Apple, Steve Jobs, is a guy from Syria. His parents came from Syria. So that is, I'm just giving you, that's one example. What is really disturbing is this. Someone can actually kill an innocent person, even if the guy was resisting arrest. Because I don't understand how the law in America is constructed. How is that possible? A policeman can shoot or beat someone to death and then justify it. Where else in the world will you see that? Not even in the developing world. No, it doesn't happen. Okay, you might see videos of policemen just chasing people here and there because they would say, we are following orders. So, in this case, the police in America, they don't follow order. Probably there isn't even order. Let me put it that way. Yeah. So, now, I will come back to this. Now, I want you to have a look at this. Someone I'm working with on a program called For You Too, this lady, Sonia Kamara, sent me a video clip 8 o'clock in the morning. Sent me, and she doesn't really usually send stuff like that because we know we are seriously working on something very, 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 very important. So when I saw this video, I thought, yes, I have to have a look at this. But okay, have a look and listen to what this man is saying.
This floor is always economics, because racism is economics. Racism has nothing in the world to do with who you like or who you don't like. It has nothing to do with it. Only when they beat up on you now because they know you don't have any economics. You don't have a basis beneath you. When they drag you to shooting black folk, they're not shooting you because you're black. They're shooting you because of your social economic condition. You're powerless. They know the only thing you're going to do, they shoot 20 blacks tomorrow. Only thing you're going to do is go out and march. That's all you're going to do. They know that. You have no power and wealth. You build that business community and you build factories and industries in there. And you produce wealth and money and income. Then you take that wealth and money and income and you use it to benefit and lift your people. And you use it also to take the surplus capital and you go to the second floor in that 5-story building. On the second floor in that 5-story building, that's politics. That's politics. That's where your politicians are. Quit letting people mislead you about voting. Voting ain't worth a damn if you don't have an economy. I have run political campaigns for presidents, for governors, for attorney generals, for congressional people, for mayors, and city council people. Politics, voting in politics ain't worth a quarter in voting if you don't have an economy. It's money that controls your politics. You take your money on that first floor and the powernomics concepts that I'm trying to get you all to buy into. You take that money off the first floor, you buy every politician on the second floor. Don't worry about voting, buy them. Be just like the mafia. Be like the mafia. Just buy them. If you can't, you don't have enough money to buy them, then rent or lease them for a while. You rent and lease him. Then you commission him and say, now on this second floor, now that I bought you, just like all this next election, you can see all this money going into all these candidates, billions and millions of dollars. They're buying those politicians. You buy them on the second floor. And then you tell them on the second floor, now, under the powernomics principles, I bought your rear end. You now take your rear end to the third floor. And on the third floor, that's your court system. I don't care whether it's the Supreme Court or the local superior courts or county courts or city courts or state courts. You buy them. And you tell them on that second floor in the court system, you start taking care of my people and doing right. The courts control the police department. The third floor is the courts and the police department. The police department would not be killing your people and shoot them down if they knew that you had an economy underneath you. They're going to pull in you. How many of you have seen police shooting down Jews, for instance, running? How many times have they been shooting down Asians? How many times you see them heard them shooting down American Indians? They only shoot down black folk. You don't have an economy to dictate to the police department or to the court system.
Now you have heard what the man is saying. We will come back again to him. Now imagine this. This is what he's saying. If you don't have an economy, or if you don't have an economy, you don't have power. Basically, they will treat you like nothing because they know you don't have money to buy the politicians as he's saying. You don't have money to run your own businesses. You cannot employ yourself. Basically, they can do whatever they like with you. By the way, now this brings me to another thing again. If you think that America is not corrupt, then you are wrong. Let me put it this way. America is the most corrupt nation on the planet. The man is telling you, not me. But I have known this before. They have corrupted everyone wherever they go. Everywhere they go. And they are the most. America is the country that is always, is the country that is even causing trouble all over the world. They are like the police of the world. Then they will tell you We have got law and order. Should we listen more? All right, let us go on.
Then once you dictate to them, you take that money off this first floor, you go to the fourth floor. Your fourth floor is your media. You all got to start producing media in these communities and take that money and start going into buying media. You got about 12,000 radio stations in the United States, about 12,000 cable systems in the United States, about 5,000 daily newspapers in the United States, and about 5,000 also, what did I miss? Television stations. You own nothing. Out of 12,000 radio stations, you probably now own about 60 or 70. Out of cable system, you don't own any, not one. Television station, you used to own one out of 5,000. Daily newspaper, you don't own anything, not one daily newspaper. How in the world can you communicate? How in the world can you mobilize your people when you don't own the media to get in touch with them and tell them what to do? If you right now try to promote something for black folk, most media will not even carry it.
I have been arguing about this point, having a voice. Seriously, the man, I don't know, I don't want to repeat this thing, but I have been saying this for a long time. If you do not have the media, you basically, you are nowhere. You don't have a voice. So if I ask you, say for example, here in the UK, where are the black media houses? Show me one. I know we talk about the voice and stuff, but the voice is not enough. There is something, there are things happening out every day, out there, which needs to be reported. We don't have the media here in the UK. That is number one. We don't have an organization that will represent an African Caribbean or the people from Africa or the Caribbean. Please forgive me if I'm just talking. I was not born here. I came into this country. So I do not know the structure or the power struggles of black people. But today, I would expect to have a media owned by black people, never mind whether it is black people or not. This media thing that I'm talking about, it should be our voice. Yes, we have got the voice, but then again, we don't have the voice. This is what this man is talking about. The story breaks out. We are relying on BBC to come and report what has happened, or Channel 4 or Channel 5 or LBC. And when they get things wrong, when they present us in the way they see fit, we complain. So whom are we to blame? Man, I have really started going deep. I know what I'm saying here, it might annoy many people, but don't get annoyed, because that's what I see. When I go out there and I don't see a black newspaper, or when I tune on the TV, I don't see a film made by a black person about British people. There are people, I understand, there are people in the black community who have tried to highlight these issues, but then again, it is either they are on their own or they don't have the support from black people here in the UK. This is our problem here in the UK. Black people here do not support businesses. Whether you have got a media business, whether you have got a shop, they would rather take that money and give it to somebody else, and then they will come and complain. Take a guy like Shabazz Menyelek and others too, because Shabazz is the guy that I know. I have seen his films, I have seen what he does, but I'm always asking myself, why a guy like Shabazz? Why is he not supported by the public? Not the public, the black community here. This guy, he has made films about Broadwater Farm, and of course, one of his films, what is it called? Something I will remember. One of his film was banned because they said it was too sensitive. It is going again to incite kind of riots or whatever. But so that was all bullshit. But we as black people here, if we are not careful, we are thinking that now everything is okay because we can buy cars, we can buy houses, we can now go and work in offices, and we think we have arrived. My friend, we haven't arrived yet. Take an example of the Windrush. Windrush is actually an insult to black people here. That's how I see it. It is like black people or Africans, their issues don't matter. But then again, we allow ourselves to be manipulated. And let us carry on. Let us hear what this guy again continue.
White corporations won't even buy tickets or ads to help you do it. If you have a black radio station, you cannot have black media unless you got black businesses. Because you need the advertising dollars to keep the business, keep the radio station, the media going. The people say, why can't we own some radio? Because you don't have any businesses to buy the ads. White's not going to buy it. But you can get white racists on TV and on the radio. You can get the Rush Limbaughs or the Hannitys or O'Reillys on the Fox channel. That whole Fox channel is loaded down with racists. But they get the advertising dollars to stay on the air. You know why? Because you give them the money. I don't see any black folk in America renegotiating their relationships. When did you renegotiate your relationship with white corporations? Saying that if I see you supporting the Fox channel on this negative stuff about black folk, you'll never get another dollar out of the black America. You won't do it. You should be doing it. Y'all should be sending letters every chance you get and calling on the say any white person on any of the Fox channel I hear saying something that implies or suggests or intimate that black folk are stupid, lazy, and dumb, and criminal, we will shut off every dollar coming into your company.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
They're not scared of you. They got your money for granted. They know they're going to get your dollar because they know you don't have any businesses to buy from. You don't have any alternative places to go get your gasoline, like in Detroit, Michigan, when the Arabs took over 144 out of 146 gas stations. You don't own and control anything. You're dependent on them. They say, we ain't worried about them black folk. They don't have any choice but to come give us their money. We'll kick their butts and they still got to give us their money. And the same thing is true with politics. The Republican Party don't need you. They know they got you locked in box. They know you're going to belong to the Democratic Party. Democratic Party said, we got you locked in box. We don't need you either. Because you see, my people, your leadership has not got enough intellectual credulity and internal fortitude and common sense to say, hey, let's not support either one of the parties. Let's create. You all could be the most powerful people in this nation within 1 or 2 years if you did one single thing. If you withdrew publicly from the Democratic Party and the Republican Party and said, we don't need either one of you. We're going to create a black independent party. And in that black independent party, we're going to trick you all because we're not going to run any candidates. I wouldn't run any candidates. I would create me a black independent party. I wouldn't run not one candidate.
What this guy is saying is that if you really have the power and you have got basically everything in place, you've got your own schools, you've got your own banks, you've got your own institutions where you employ yourself, then you have got power. But here in the UK, I cannot really see happening. I'm not comparing America and the UK. First of all, the population of black people in America, you have got about 48 million blacks there. Whereas the blacks in the UK, it's only probably it accounts to about 3 million. But having said that, the black people here spend almost 11 billion pounds every year. That the money they give away, they will take. They go to the shops here, I don't know what. It's just like we actually don't care. We can't even keep the economy in ourselves. So this is probably, by watching and listening to this video, there is something to learn there. Probably, I would say unity, now which I see lacking. That one is big time. If you really want to hate me because I have said what I've said, but that is me. You see, I have seen a whole lot of things for over 30 years that I have been here. I can see even the black and African and African Caribbean. We are drifting. Although we are thinking that we are advancing because we have got these material possessions, but we own that. We don't even have community centers where we can go and celebrate our own events. We have to go and hire halls from someone else. Okay? Take the money away. I know, but I'm not drifting. This is exactly what I am talking about. Let us continue.
Yes, we're going to vote as a block. You're going to get 43 million black votes. And we will deliver that 43 million black votes to whoever promises most and delivers the most to black folk. Yeah. We don't care what political party you belong to. You can be, and we don't care whether you're a black person, a white candidate, a pink candidate, a yellow candidate, or just an outright Sambo. We don't care. We will vote for anybody who would deliver and promises the most to black folk. That's the way you play politics. And I guarantee you, from all my years in running campaigns, every politician would knock down anything to get to your door. He said, you know what? If I deliver something to black folk, I can pick up 43 million black votes. Hell, I don't need a lot of people. I don't need it. I'll be there. Even though Hispanics have bypassed you in population, they might have about 43 or 45 million Hispanics in the United States, their turnout rate is only in the 20%. You still got them beat. Hispanics might have picked up the population, but they don't have the voting capacity yet. You can deliver and become the most powerful people in this country if you started voting as an independent bloc. It said we move as a group. We move as a fist rather than fingers. And we'll stay together, and we'll take care of each other, we'll buy from each other, we'll support each other, and we'll look after each other, and we'll make our dollars bounce in our community on that first floor. We'll make it circulate 8 to 12 times before it leaves black hands. Hispanic money in America bounces 6 to 7 times in the Hispanic community all over L.A. White money bounces 8 to 12 times. Asian and Arab money bounces 13 to 14 times. Jewish money bounces 18 times. Right now, black money doesn't bounce once because you're committing social economic suicide. You can be the most powerful people if you learn how to organize and play as a team. Now, doing that, now the last floor, then the other part. Last floor is the 5th floor. The 5th floor is education. Don't keep going around telling black folk that our future rests in education. It is not. Education is about as useless as the black vote. It's about as useless and as wasted as a black vote if you don't have what? An economy. You can educate these black kids, they have no place to go and use it. Education is a tool, just like a hammer and a saw. I got all kind of black kids graduating from school every year with all kind of degrees. Master's degrees in this, master's degrees in that, and they can't master a damn thing because they ain't no place to go. Whites don't need them in their business and don't want them. So you're educating your kids to get an education and leave your community, go to somebody else's community, look for somebody else's business, work in somebody else's job, producing the wealth, power, and resources. What's the difference between that and a slave? You're still in the same spot. You should be saying, go off and get an education and come back home to our community and build things for us. And rather than going out looking for jobs, make your organizations, both whether religious or civil, make your politicians teach black folk how to produce jobs, not look for jobs. And we're doing that now by going to the last point, is that's called exceptionality. We do that by telling everybody, tell all your politicians from this day forward, we heard Dr. Anderson speak. And what he says from now on is that we're not going to play the game anymore. We're going to stop doing what we've been doing in terms of inappropriate behavior. We're not against anybody. I don't want you all to hate anybody. I don't want you all to be against Hispanics, Arabs, Asians, midgets, humpbacks, anybody else. Just strictly be for your own people. Okay? Racism is a team sport. You either play as a team or you lose by default.
So, okay, now you've heard the man. I know in my voice sometimes I was getting emotionally charged. You know, as you know, I am an African. We are always emotionally charged. But that's where they catch us. Because those people who are doing these terrible things like the murder of Derick Floyd, these people do not bring emotions in whatever they do. They know we are emotionally charged people, whether you are a black person in America, whether you are a black person in China, whether you are a black person in Africa, we are emotion people. We fight, we take the fight as we see it. We don't have time to think about so many things. We are physical people. You bring aggressive to me, I will act accordingly. So basically, this is going to go on. But listening to that guy, what he was saying, well, we are in the 21st century. This is 2020. Yeah? But we are still facing economic struggles. We are playing catch up. We want to have things that we cannot afford, but probably that, or somebody sees me in an expensive car, I'm good. You know, yes, man, have the car, have a nice house. All those things, it is your right to have them. You are allowed to. But now let us bring the thing we call community together. We cannot be singing the word community, community, community until something really happens. A guy like Derick loses his life, yes, in America, and then we don't have lawyers, or we don't have, no, there are lawyers. I was talking to someone, a friend of mine in Nigeria. He said, we have got lawyers, but those two are undermined. You find that they will fight on their own. We don't support them. In the end, well, they have to survive. Maybe they have to go where the money is. So there is that. But I would like you to suggest something, because I would like just to hold a forum of how we can actually combine forces. You know, it is very, 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 very difficult, because this game has been played already. You see, black Americans, they don't see themselves, well, some of them do not see themselves as Africans, or even the Caribbeans do not see themselves as Africans. Yet, if we could combine together, the whole world, man, we could actually cause some earthquake here. You know, we are many. Imagine, Africa is 1 billion. And then plus all these small pockets in America, Caribbean and stuff. If we said, okay, now we are speaking as one. If there is a problem somewhere, we just say, we are going to solve that problem. Yeah. I will bring out some examples later on, but not now, because I have been rambling on for so long, because I am really angry when I see videos of African people being treated badly, whether it is in China, Australia, basically all over the world. You know, these are the things now I've been researching into it, but I want to bring people together, whether on the screen or on a round table. Let us see, let us put our knowledge together, because we have been to universities. We say we have got degrees, we say we have got PhDs. Let us put them together. But Derick Floyd, the man to die without actually resistance, we don't even know what he was accused of. That is really serious. And I really don't care, because I have already seen videos of people from all backgrounds now coming, speaking about it. You see, there is something that I don't buy. Many black people have been dying for a long time. I haven't seen people to come up and speak, because now I am sure there is something boiling with the presidency of Trump. You see, if anyone doesn't like Trump, they will actually come and speak up and say, yeah, Trump has just said this, blah, blah, blah. No. When Barack Obama was in office, the police were still shooting black people. Think about that. And I'm going to end on that.